I want you to hear this because I knew this was going to come because the indigenous people in America are linked literally to the people from South America. They have the same DNA. The indigenous population, let this sink in, are linked to the indigenous people in South America. And I'm talking about all over South America. Also in Canada. But I want you to hear this.
So far, unhoused community members, indigenous leaders, as well as regular citizens are being detained, illegally jailed, and have gone missing under ICE's watch. 4 unhoused Lakota men near Little Earth, an indigenous hub, as well as often referred to as an urban reservation where multiple indigenous communities are now culminated, building community centers, have housing, as well as multiple ceremonies and places to gather. They were detained illegally and are now currently missing. The Oglala Lakota Nation is now currently looking for them, contacting federal agencies to make sure they provide the documentation and affiliative documents to make sure that they are safe and they are okay. Because of now indigenous people and indigenous tribal governments and officials can't find their own community members, we are witnessing missing and murdered indigenous people as we speak. Another is an indigenous leader of the Indigenous Peoples Movement, Rachel Diane Thunder, who was sitting across a local renowned indigenous coffee shop and cafe, Powwow Grounds. She was sitting in her car, and ICE came up and detained her, which prompted the workers from the coffee shop to go outside and run and try to stop the illegal detaining and subsequent kidnapping that ICE does to indigenous, Black, and other community members while she was recording on Facebook Live. Another was a Red Lake Nation community member, Roberto Ramirez, who was stopped, illegally detained, and pulled out of his car, all for trying to visit his aunt in a Minneapolis suburb. With all the attention going to the notable unaliving of people who are trying to defend Black and brown communities from ICE, please do not forget the people are still being affected, being taken, and going missing. While we're raising $1.5 million for one person, we should be raising equal and even more so for the people who are most vulnerable and are being affected in every aspect and every day. Currently,
I've got to stop this. The Trump has always targeted the indigenous people or native people of America. He has gone after them in the early 1970s and 80s. I made videos before he was elected the first time and it went on fucking deaf ears. He has a hatred for the indigenous population in America. This is why he targets Hispanic communities, because he knows there's a link between the Hispanic community and the indigenous of America. He has a deep-rooted hate for them. And I knew that this was going to take place. He has no respect for the tribal communities in America. He has no respect for the indigenous of America. He has no respect.